Hello. Nice to meet you all. It's a fantastic Saturday. I'm sure everybody's at home relaxing yourself. Usually, especially for today, right? I'm not going to say copy with events because I'm going to say lights, camera, action. That's right. That's not my versus of what I'm going to supposed to say. That's actually what this particular person is going to say, Mr. Yahssir. So I'm going to bring him up and then we're going to discuss a lot of stuff. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Let's bring in Mr. Yahssir. Hello, Mr. Yahssir.
Hey, once, how are you?
How are you there?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, sorry, I'm just backed up for a while. Okay, yeah, I'm back. So it's good to have you on a Saturday evening with
Yeah,
Kobe
it's a
with me.
pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So உங்க கையில காஃபி கொண்டு வந்திருக்கீங்களா?
Uh, இருக்கு.
காஃபி இருக்கா உள்ள?
Yes.
Okay, cheers. Okay. இப்போ வந்து இன்னைக்கு டாபிக்கை பார்த்தீங்கன்னா today's topic is a very believing in dreams, right? That is what we actually wanted to talk about. But before we even jump into the topics and discuss even further, maybe say why don't you do ஒரு introduction பண்ணிடுங்களேன். நீங்களே ஒரு 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 சீரிய introduction பண்ணிடுங்களேன்.
Okay. To intro myself, I'm the CEO, founder of Millenia Motion Pictures, Millenia Film Academy, and we mainly what I do is I write, produce, and direct. So that is to be simple about it. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah.
ஓகே, ரொம்ப ஹம்பலா இன்ட்ரோடக்ஷனை முடிச்சிட்டீங்க. பட் பரவாயில்ல, அப்படியே கொஞ்சம் லேசா இன்னும் ஒரு இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் வாங்கிடுவோம். பட் ஓகே, பட் ஐ நோ தட் you are the founder of Millenia Motion Pictures. But before we even go into any other topics, I know that not too long ago you actually was being invited to Hollywood to do some movie, if I'm not mistaken. Shall we talk a little bit about that?
Okay. It is a long ago. It's like a decade ago. So that was a great experience. I participated in this film competition organized by MDA, and one of the judges were Ashok Amitraj. Those who have watched Jeans, the movie Jeans, and he was the producer for that movie, and his company Hyde Park was one of the main sponsors for the event. So once I won the film competition, I ended up in LA. I was there for some time. I got to work on Ghost Rider 2. So that was like I was the one of the post production supervisors for Ghost Rider 2. So I think that was an unforgettable experience. And then I think just apart from the movie, getting to work with technicians who have worked on a lot of Hollywood films, like the team I worked with, they did Fast and Furious, Train Spotting, Jurassic Park. So these movies we only see in theaters, right? So, but then getting to work along them was a different experience. And secondly, I managed to do a short film down there called Lost in Paradise. So Lost in Paradise is about a film about a sound engineer trying to survive Hollywood. So that is why we call it Lost in Paradise. And even in that film, I got to work with Spider-Man's colorist Kevin O'Connor. He created the film. It's a 15-minute film, and I got to work with Tricky. Tricky was the sound engineer, the real sound engineer. So it was something to be close to heart. Those kind of experience. Yeah, that was the journey.
So that was your past 10 years. That was 10 years ago, huh?
10 years ago, yes.
Very good. So you got all these experiences. Thank you, Mr. Yassi, for that humble way of introduction. Usually our introduction is about 1 minute or so. You are or more than that, but you try to finish it within 30 seconds, but it's okay. I'll get more information about you. But of course, I also have the opportunity to pulinji edukaranju.
Mhm.
I'm going to say in English, train you. So we had trained all the weird hours before. I know
Yes,
at
yes.
3 a.m., 2 a.m. So I saw the kind of motivation that you add.
Mhm.
When you I know you only write scripts only after 2 a.m. or 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Most of the people are in the la la land.
Yep.
Why is that so? Why is that you have to do it in the early mornings? Is there any particular reason? Is it because the maximum oxygen is coming out from the trees and you are releasing it out or something like that? Any secret behind that?
I think the secret is I'm like that since my childhood. I sleep late and I struggle for my morning session schools. And the only time I think it was very relieving was when poly started at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. when compared to a lot of other courses were starting at 8. So, and being used to that late timing, right? I find a lot of composure working late. So technically my battery clock works after 12. So that has become a habit over these years. Yeah.
So you don't follow the Singapore timing, lah. You follow the US timing.
Yeah, I kind of adapted very well in LA. So so I realized maybe my timing is a bit weird in Singapore. But I'm still able to function. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, let's dive into the topic. I mean, it's very interesting to see different speakers coming into this platform to share their experiences. We have doctors, psychologists, musicians, developments, coach, and so many roles. Okay, I mean, but today is very interesting because you are the person who sits there with a hat and glasses and say, "Camera, oh sorry, lights, camera, and action." But behind that, I think there's so many things that you got to do, right? I mean, you got to
Yeah.
plan, you got to look at the location. But of course, we will dive into that later part. We have a couple of questions we
Mm-hmm.
have there. But
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Yahssir, can you please tell us that when we choose this topic, when I mentioned to you about believing in dreams, we had a discussion before we want
Mm-hmm.
to come. I
Yeah.
mean, when we say believing in dreams, some are daydreamers. Sometimes some says that dream doesn't happen without hard work. So there's a lot of debatable groups. One will say no, dreams will work. But of course it must be a realistic dream. But why don't we use, instead of a dream, say a realistic goal, or believing in your goals, or believing in your settings? But why is that the dreams? And I know that you are a person who follows very strongly on your dream, and you're achieving it and crushing it. Maybe shall we just start our talk with that first?
Yeah, maybe like when we are saying about dreams or goal settings, right? In a way, it's all similar, but before you set your goal and set your have that settings, right? You first need to dream, இல்லையா? Like
Um,
கனவு கண்டா தானே வந்து லட்சியத்தை நம்ம அடையிறதுக்கு ஒரு ஒரு பார்வை பார்க்க முடியும் இல்லையா? So I think that part we need to first dream. And because another thing is, right, dream is the only place where you don't have any restrictions. You don't have anyone telling you how it should be dreamt. Even in goal settings we can get instructions, right? So that dream, that 100% or 150% of our dream then can dilute down into our goal settings and stuff, then it becomes a bit more realistic. I think that's how I've perceived it all the while.
okay.
Mm.
So you think that dream will eventually will happen?
Dream,
Coincidence?
yes, yes, definitely. Like what you mentioned, right? As long as our dream is realistic, it will definitely happen. And once we start achieving our realistic dreams, whatever might seem unrealistic might start also becoming realistic. But you have to take it a step at a time.
Hmm. It's very interesting because I mean, there's a lot of people that, I mean, I'm sure you have talked about, or most of the people that have talked about.
Mhm.
When someone says of dreams, they always say, don't follow your dreams. It will not happen. Set up a goals. I mean, there's, like I said, there's always two groups of disagreements and agreements. So we can never uh, handle one kind of situation as an answer. But
Mhm.
moving into that, do you had a dream? Do you had a dream when you were studying in a poly, that did you ever think about that you will own a company, a production company in Singapore, and even going into Hollywood? Do you have that kind of vision or dream?
Definitely not going to Hollywood. Definitely not starting Millennium Motion Pictures. Like there's this quote, right? You can kill the dreamer, but you can't kill the dream. Yeah, like so the dreamer can just put his dream away, and then he can still have the dream, but he can be doing something else. So something like that, when I entered poly, or prior to that, when I was in my primary education, secondary education, media was something I liked. Like I was in the photography club, I was in AVA, I was in drama club. But all that while, right, I was thinking, or something our parents would share, I was thinking that it's just a hobby, it's like a CCA. And no, I have to become like a uniform group doctor, engineer, you have to go that route. But as the moment when I landed into poly, and especially my course, interactive media design, even when I landed there, I went to that particular course because I wanted to become an animator. I wanted to draw cartoons. But after my first module, the first lesson, I realized I can't draw cartoons. Like it is a different energy. It's a whole new challenge. And then I realized I can either major film or multimedia, and film spoke to me better. And eventually, second year and final year, I majored film. And the day I called myself a director was the launch of my first short film, Bombay. And that's when I know, okay, so this is what I am. I'm a director. So and that's when you see, and that's when new dreams start coming. And the new dreams were like, okay, I want to be one of the best directors in the region. I want to be talked about and all that. But as you go into the career journey, it is not as what it seems. It is difficult. And then your pathway changes. You do a lot of other things. So like like what you said, right? It is always cool to have an Insta story or Insta picture
Mm.
with me wearing my shades and calling action, looking cool.
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, but that is the fun moments we have. The For that picture to materialize, it took me a good 4 or 5 years. Like so I came in the industry thinking, hey, I've done this short film, I'm a director now. And then when I was told, hey, you know what, you are still new, you're not good enough to be director. And then where I ended up doing grip gaffer, like where you learn lighting. And then I was also doing my fair share of editing. So I was thrown into different mediums. But I think then I had an ultimate dream. I still wanted to see my name as written and directed by Muhammad Yahssir. So for that, learning all this was definitely very essential. So even now, right, when I'm directing, if I see my grip struggling with something, I can go and help them out, right? So I think that is how the dream evolved. So the dream, what you see as a dream might be something, but it will start evolving as you keep picking up things on the way.
Okay, so there's a big, huge processes that we have to think about it, right? It's not just about having the cool cap and the glasses, and then some shades with with nice environment. Of course, that's what we see. But I do know that because I think less than a year, I think 1 year ago,
Mhm.
I had the opportunity to do a small role in
Mhm.
your program, right? I think if I'm not mistaken, அது என்ன பேரு அது அந்த drama பேரு? The one that
காதல் காதல்
sorry,
கொண்டாட்டம்.
Kader
காதல்
Gaur. Yes,
கொண்டாட்டம்.
yes. But
Yeah.
what I realized, Mr. Yassi, is
Mhm.
uh, even though that role that we did together with 4 or 5 guys, like we come like hooligans, trying to kidnap. What I noticed that whole segment only take about less than 2 minutes, right? Or maybe less than 1.5 minutes. But we spent more than 5 hours.
Yep.
So it's so much of time just to shoot 2 minutes, and I mean it's so. I mean, there's a lot of hard work. We know that, but how do
Mhm.
you manage that? Different timings, your sleep pattern, your biological clock has been changed. You constantly have to think what's going to be next. So a director is not someone who just say lights, camera, and action, but he thinks in the future how this story is going to begin, how it's going to evolve, and how is the ending is going to be. So there's a lot of imaging of yourself, imagination. How do
Mhm.
you do that?
I think like in production, we always have it as three tiers, right? The pre-production, production, and post. So a lot of work, a lot of effort goes into pre-production. So during that point, our story writing, the characterization, all will be worked out, right? And then we push it to production, which is what you were talking about. So production will be very hectic, but at the same time, sometimes like I think that particular scene we shot, right? If you remember, we did a lot of improvness on the set. We changed the dialogues on set, and we asked you to do new things, because that's when we will be thinking, hey, இப்படி பண்ணினாலும் நல்லா இருக்கும்ல, those kind of things. So I think that was what we were trying to do. And yes, it is tiring. Like one important thing, right, when we end up in productions, the first thing we will miss is our sleep. Second, I think is family, because the family interaction will be very limited, especially when we work long hours. Like most of our shoots are like around 12 hours. So let's say, we step out around 8 to roll, right? So we would have left our home around 6 o'clock. And by the time we reach home, everybody is asleep. So the interaction is also very minimal. So it is also a point of testing, challenging your ability to cope when you don't have people to talk to, and sometimes you just keep it to yourself. Yeah, so it is a challenging period, especially during
Mm.
shoot.
Yassi, I think you brought up a very good point. I think even though someone just can sit behind a nice, comfortable chair and look at a drama or movie and can give so much of critics, right? Oh, இந்த மாதிரி செஞ்சா நல்லா இருக்கும், இது ஏன் அப்படி இருக்கு? But behind that is so much of work, right? The talent is there, the hard work is there, the long hours, the sacrification, your food pattern, your sleep pattern, everything has been changed. And also, I think one thing that I realized that, when I came for that particular shoot for that 5 hours for that 1.5 minutes, I
Mm-hmm.
think to myself, for that 1.5 minutes, it took about 4 hours. So let's say if you want to complete a movie or your drama, how many hours as you have to really put in and plan and execute it is so much of, can I say hassle? But I don't know. It seems like hassle, but I think it's because of your passion and love. But how do you overcome it, right? If you give it to me and say that for 1.5 minutes I do shoot for 5 hours, I probably like, oh, okay, uh, yeah, I can. But think twice. But you are always there. You want to watch all the fine tuning, and to understand. And because I know that on the spot itself, also sometimes certain movement, certain script have to be changed because I know the few of us had a different script to speak to act on it. But how do you get this imagination or this feel, how the movie is going to be, at the end and the beginning? So how do you actually get all that compressed and able to relate to it?
I think you said it in your question itself, right? The love and passion. I think that has kept me going all these years. The first thing, like yes, we do definitely do earn. No, money is a motivational factor, but when we started, that wasn't a motivational factor. When we started, I think the craft to do more, to replicate the people we call mentors, that fire, that was very important at that point of time. But definitely, when you want to start your family, when you want to help people, when you want to work in a bigger association, then you need the money, right? So uh, yeah, so I think till today, though money is definitely needed for survival, but I think love and passion is very important. Just like when you call a doctor, right? During this COVID situation, the doctors and nurses are going through like 24/7. No, none of them are seeing their families and everything. They are not doing it for the money, right? They are doing it again for the dedication. Their dedication, plus the I think the love, the passion. Then when, so normally I think it's the same thing which applies to a lot of industries, and I think it's the same for the film industry.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Yasir, for that explanation. Because I know that, even sometimes when we sit and we watch some movies or whatever, we can say, oh, this could be better, that could be better. But there's so much of artwork, so much of dedication and love behind it, which we definitely can feel it, after the way you explained to it. As we move on, with the COVID-19,
Hmm.
where is the media for the future? What do you think? What will happen? Because right now, so much of things are happening, as evolving. Every industry has been hit,
Hmm.
and there's a lot of changes, precautions. What do you see? What is
I
your take on that?
I think myself and my fellow industry mates are definitely being taken a major hit during COVID-19. um, it is something I think no one would expect to happen, and it also tested a lot of companies on the running, because there's a lot of companies which have staff. Then we have to pay rental and all this stuff. So it does test our ability to sustain. And then at the same time, but I think we are coming close to the end of circuit breaker, and most of us are just looking forward to start back the shoot, because there's two things which have happened. Productions which were already ongoing came to a halt because of circuit breaker, and then the rest of the productions which couldn't even start. So everybody is in a standstill mode. And the biggest thing, I think, something which happened yesterday, IMDA has announced this MSR. It's a mandatory safety rule, and with that they have given us permissions to start shoot. In a way, productions have been always very structured. The good thing about productions, we have been always structured. I think you have seen it, right? We have a video village where the
Yeah.
director and producer gets to see the monitor.
Mm,
The actors are put in a room with makeup,
mm,
and then technical crew will be setting up. So now we just have to follow the new add-ons, like safe distancing, social distancing, like like how you have seen on sets, we will do surprise birthday parties. So
mhm,
now maybe we might not be able to do that. At the same time, if an artist is not required to be on that spot, they have to be in the room. And technicians, after they set up, they have to station themselves far away from the thing. So these kind of new rules have been implemented, and I think this is a very happy news for every production personnel, to go back to shoot. And like, because like what I've always said, right, one production might not just fit a company, it might fit 30 to 40 freelancers, and that's like 30 to 40 families. So when we get to go back to production, a lot of families are relieved.
mhm.
And I think that is the biggest news for us since yesterday.
So definitely, it's a good news.
Yeah.
Indeed, the economies are coming up, and slowly, the circuit breaker is going off. But so with these changes, I'm sure there's a lot of going to be new normal, like what you said. A lot of changes, a lot of settings will be changed. So you do face obstacles also. I mean, every industry has faced obstacles.
Yeah.
So as we go in a little bit more deeper and deeper,
Mhm.
um, I know that we talked about your journey in becoming how you became as a director, but we want to know the pros and cons as well, right? There's of course
Mhm.
the not so good part and also the good part. The cap and the glasses, the shades and all that. But there must be an inspiration that as might happen, right? Like when you
Mhm.
say that you draw, you love to do cartoons and all that. But what exactly that triggered you to be a director? Because I know to be a director means you are taking full responsibility. I mean, you must know all the work in order to deliver your
Mhm.
best for that particular movie or drama. But how do you have that inspired? Because if you ask me, I can't be inspired to become a director because I don't have the patience, or probably a little. But how do you have that?
I think, like, for me, it again starts with childhood. My dad has to be one of the main contributors. I think for those who knows laser disc, the big laser disc. So my dad will get like Jurassic Park, Speed, Ten Commandments, and then have this sense around setting like a mini theater. And when you watch those kind of films, right, you want to know how these things are get done. How do they even do it? And over the years, I've been watching a lot of movies. So because of my dad watches a lot of English films, and I grew up watching a lot of Tamil films. So I think you have a mixed media. And so eventually, when I ended up in my particular course, and then I thought, okay, you know what, I can tell a Tamil film, like something which we have been always been talking about in Singapore. We do have Tamil filmmakers, Indian filmmakers, but the films might be lesser. So at that point of time, I'm talking like in 2005 when I graduated. When I did my Tamil film, it was like Temasek Poly's first Tamil film. So and that recognition, I wouldn't say it makes you feel, hey, I want to do more, but I think the recognition encourages us, like, it gives us a belief that maybe we should do more Tamil stuff. And and that's how the whole director thing came about. And another thing is, I think I'm a bit of OCD, so that being director, you'll try to get everything right. And there, back in the earlier days, my initial short films, I was the DP, I was the director, I was the editor. And it took me, I think, 2 to 3 years to get my first DP on set. And I could share with someone a shot, and they will frame it for me. So those parts were always challenging. But working with such a team, working with a group of lovers, the art director who loves to do props, a DP who loves to frame and light, you work with a group of people, and it always keeps continuing the journey. Yeah.
Okay, bro. So we can see the inspiration that's coming in how you want to be in terms of a director. But of course, that's so much of hard work that we talked about the pros and cons. Um, in a set, have you ever became angry before?
Definitely, many times. Um, I've gotten very angry, blasted people, walked off set, but no, maybe like give 15-10 minutes, I'll be back on set, because this is your set. And if I walked off on the set, then nobody's going to be taking responsibility. Um, and then there'll be a lot of debriefs on what had happened. So I think getting angry on set is a common thing. Losing your temper on set is something which happens to me occasionally. Yeah.
But that doesn't seems right, because you don't look like a person that can easily get angry, that they're very soft, they're very calm.
Yeah.
So if you want to become a director, you
Uh-huh.
must be very composed, very relaxed, even though you are. But is it a very tough situation to be in? Because I know for those who artists who are or celebrities who are always acting, I
Mm.
think they should know how it is. But sometimes that particular day you can't remember your script, or you can't really remember, then the takes have to go on and on, in that cases what will happen then?
Um, okay, most of the time it doesn't happen unless a variable of things happens. Like, yes, the artist is tired, lighting doesn't work, weather doesn't hold. Like, it's a mix problems. But when such things happen, we will try to help the artist as much as possible. um, and like, we will always try to work around with them. We will try to change dialogues, or we'll try to cut it down shorter. And there will be a lot of discussions with the artist, like, whether it works for them for the particular character. Yeah, so all those things happen. But yes, I think the most frustrating point is when you are shooting outdoors and the rain never stops, and like, you are just stuck there for a few hours, and ultimately you have to call it a day, or you have to try to find an alternative. So those kind of things will definitely make it very stressful for the team, including the director, the producer, everybody. Yes.
Okay, so what's the good stuff of being a director, bro? I mean, we talked about a little bit more stress type. What is the good stuff?
Good stuff, I think. The awesome stuff is when the director, what he visions, what he saw in the paper, gets to appear in front of him, on the screen. He's able to achieve every single thing, from performance, from the art direction, from the camera angles. I think that will be the best thing to happen, especially, like, when certain actors perform like way beyond expectation. They make the character really speak for the director. I think those are the moments which is very powerful. Yeah.
Mm. So if someone who's going to act, I mean, you be the best person to answer this. I mean, I'm sure there will be a lot of people who have the interest of, to be actor or even to do part-time roles or whatever. So what does it really needs to be an actor? I mean, we talked about your role already, but if let's say if I'm going to be an actor, right?
Mhm.
Of course, obviously, so far with this kind of beard, it's always a villain role.
Yeah.
but but how do you spot talents in terms of whether the way they speak or the way they look? Is it the influences they have? how do you actually look? I mean, in terms of audition and kind of stuff, because I know this process is always ongoing. I know
Yes.
in this kind of market, you're always looking for talents, and so if someone wants to act or thinks that, hey, you know what, the guy or the girl might have the interest, what is the first thing that needed to be done?
I think some people have it in them. They might be actually good speakers. They might be, from childhood they are the very vocal ones, very brave, and they naturally have it in them. And as for acting, this is my take on it. Like if someone comes and tells me I can't act, I will say no, because I think sometimes you have to give them the basic tuition or basic guidance, and sometimes you have to work with them. I personally feel anyone and everyone can act. It's about giving the right time. If someone says he can't act, and then you are willing to guide him, but you throw him on set and expect him to give it as one take, then it's not fair. So you need to also motivate them. I think that is very crucial for any actor. And another thing, right? Before you come into TV, I think the best place to learn acting is theater. Because this is what I've always told newbies. If you work in theater, like I had basic theater experience. So in theater, right, when you perform, there's only one chance. You can only have one take. But in TV, you can do like 30 takes, nobody to question. But that theater basics in theater will give you that foundation. It will give you that discipline. So that is a easier way to cross over. Only thing is that theater will be a bit over exaggerated, because you're talking to live audience, you have to be loud, your expressions have to be loud. In TV, you need control acting, which we also call it method acting. So those kind of things, right? So you can work on all this. And so, like Vanan, like even now, right? If it's a, I think, stereotypical thing, right? தாடி இருந்தா கேடியா தான் நடிக்க முடியும்னு இல்லையா? But தாடி இருந்தா, you can come as like a love lost artist, you know someone looking, lost in love. See, it's how we try to create that character. Yeah. So I think that's something. um I think it's always doable. It's always doable.
ஓகே ப்ரோ, இப்போ வந்து ஒரு இளைஞர், இப்போ அவன் வந்து நல்ல ஒரு ஆர்வம்
உங்கள
இருக்கு.
மாதிரி.
நான் வந்து இளைஞர்னு சொல்ல எனக்கு ஆசைதான். ஆனா என் பொண்டாட்டி இத பார்த்துருப்பா லைஃபா. அப்புறம்
ம்.
வீல தான் இருக்கேன். எங்க போறது? உள்ள ரூம்ல போயிட்டு, எதுக்கு எதுக்கு இதெல்லாம் மாட்டி விடுறீங்க? அப்படியே இருக்கட்டும்.
ம்.
அதான் வெள்ளையா இருக்கு பாருங்க. ஓகே. கீப் இட் தேர்.
ம்.
பட் வருங்காலம் இளைஞர்களுக்கு
ம்.
நல்ல
ம்.
ஒரு இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இருக்கு.
ம்.
கத்துக்கணும். நம்ம இப்ப பாருங்க, இப்ப இந்த டேலண்ட்ஸ்ல நீங்க பத்தி பேசுனீங்கன்னா, இப்ப நம்ம ப்ரோகிராம்ஸ்ன்னு பார்த்துக்குவோம். ஆ
ம்.
அதே ஆக்டர்ஸ் வந்து வந்துகிட்டே இருந்தா கொஞ்சம் போர் அடிச்சிரும். ஆமா இல்லையா ப்ரோ? இது
ஆமா.
வந்து like too much of a same actor is acting on a lot of movies or dramas,
ம்.
then you get bored. So if let's say if a young talent was coming up, what is the advice or tip that you want to give? I know you said theater, but is
ம்.
there any other things that he should be start preparing for himself right now?
I think, okay, theater I mentioned mainly for actors, and at the same time, you'll also see a different kind of production in theater, right? For TV, what is I think has become an awesome thing recently, right? Like when நாங்க ஆரம்பிக்கும் போதும், we were still working on films. So still when the camera load பண்ண தெரியணும், you need to do that. And then we never had monitors which were colored. It was all black and white. So you need to know black balance, white balance, everything will be gray. And it was a bit more tougher in production. But now, right, production has changed. The whole thing has evolved. DSLRs are there. Everything is plug and play. Like I think previously when we edited on the editing system, which was like, everything was manually operated. You have to load things and do that, right? Things has gotten way easier. And the good thing now in schools also, even I think I can safely say secondary schools are learning filmmaking, which I think we didn't get that kind of opportunities. So uh, people are exposed, and one important thing is this: this has changed all the dimensions, like phone, right? Everyone can become a filmmaker using a phone. There's many apps in it, right? So basic illa, I didn't study for 3 years, and or I don't have a film fundamental. There are courses in like Singapore Media Academy, or like even like ourselves, Millennial Film Academy. We do teach how to do short films, how to write stories, and all those stuff. But apart from that, you know YouTube is there. We can get a lot of details from there. So and I think this will let a lot of youngsters come in. But the one thing maybe they should understand is when they come in, it's not going to be a easy ride. It's not going to be just like how taking a phone and shooting it. It's going to take some time. And but it changes. It is different from a person to person. Someone might achieve it faster, and someone might take a bit longer. So again, you need to have that persistence. The perseverance is really definitely needed there. Yeah.
இப்போ வந்து சூர்யா லெவல்,
Hmm.
ஏன்னா we go to இந்தியா, லைக் சூர்யா லெவலுக்கு மாதிரி ஒரு ஆக்ட் பண்ணி வரணும். அதுக்கு என்னென்ன தேவைப்படும் ப்ரோ?
Surya level mari pannona. See again, in India there's this kutupatra, like where a lot of people get their experience also, right? So வந்துட்டு, see again, Surya level na சொல்றோம், like you can talk about many actors. Some actors put in extreme efforts இல்லையா? Like you talk about Kamal Hassan or Vikram or Surya, they go to all extreme levels to make the character stand out. And then there's some others who are great entertainers. Like they might not put equal efforts, but they have a strong, huge fan base. Like Patalabadi, like he has a lot of fan base. Like Rajini has a lot of fan base. But நான் ஒண்ணு எப்பவுமே சொல்லுவேன்னா, it's like, it is not as easy as saying, going in front of the camera, doing that performance. It might look like simple and people might critique, but it takes a lot of effort. Even like now what I'm doing, right, sitting in front of the camera, which I'm totally uncomfortable. So like those kind of things. So it might be saying, hey, na camera already simple then, but it is not that simple. uh One, and we have done this, right? Ethni
Yeah.
takes, how many takes we go, right? So yeah, so that is something to note.
சரி ப்ரோ, இப்போ வந்து ஐ மீன் அஃப்கோர்ஸ் as the industry evolve and young talents are coming in, even if you look at Singapore, or even if you look at, I mean, countries like US, or it's even major, because of the population. இப்போ சிங்கப்பூர்ல வந்து இப்போ ஒரு ஒரு இளைஞர் தான், because I'm sure the young talents are what we needed in the
Mhm.
field. So if, let's say, one who has the skill,
Mhm.
does he need to be waited for the opportunity, or does he need to create an opportunity? Because if, let's say, if I come to you and say, oh, I'm a good actor, I can act,
Mhm.
of course you will have to put auditions and all that, but
Yeah.
it is the base of the character, because you need to be humble, you need to keep on learning. But it's not that you come to a certain level and say, oh no, I'm the best of best.
Mhm.
And sometimes on the arrogant and the humbleness லாம் போயிடும். So in that manner also it's going to be very difficult. So how does one have to adjust himself as he keeps on evolving? அது ரொம்ப முக்கியம் இல்லை தானே?
முக்கியம் இல்லைன்னு, okay, see, when I entered the industry, right, it was a bit difficult. It was a bit different era. um, you know we are like the cane kids, adi wangara kids. So when we came into the industry, we were like scared of all the seniors. We were like very quiet. We will try to get instruction. Compared to the current generation, when they come in, they come with the mindset, like, sometimes they think they know more. And so it's like we are stuck in a different era. But like, when the question you asked, right, like, should we wait or should we create? I think this era is about creation. The millennials have found a lot of ways, like TikTok, a lot of YouTube programs, even Kadal Galata. If you remember that Fahima character, the girl who played it, Kaveri, I actually saw her antics in TikTok, and then I said, "Hey, this girl is very good with expressions and all that." So then we did audition with her to see her dialogue delivery, because TikTok is still, or Dub Smash is still someone's voice, right? But her expressions were very good. And so I think this is an era about creation. It's no more wait. I think I might have done the waiting a bit here and there, but I think now it's the creation. So you don't wait, you create, and you keep creating till you get spotted. I think that is the era now. Yeah.
Okay, everybody who listening this, remember TikTok. Do your best in TikTok. Because you see, like especially when you come and say about TikTok and other social media, right? Some people tend to say, "Hey, don't waste your time. This is
Mhm.
wasting your time. This is unproductive." They have all these comments to say, like and I said in my earlier interviews that there's so much of critics and consider a lot of positive comments, right? People
Mhm.
want to do it just to show, but that also can become a bit. There are some cases in certain part of the country, not in Singapore, where a lady was just not eating and just doing and doing and doing for past 7 days, and didn't family விட்டுட்டு பிள்ளைங்களை விட்டுட்டு அந்த மாதிரி கூட இருக்குங்க. பட்
Mhm.
என்ன செஞ்சாலும் கொஞ்சம் அளவோட செய்யணும், ஆமா இல்லையா?
Kandipa, one and see, note one thing, right? Not everybody gets an opportunity to become a host, an actor, or a performer, right? But like one and for yourself, I know you as a trainer, I know you as an entrepreneur. Today you are like a talk show host,
Thank
right?
you.
And you didn't wait for me, the director, to come and give you a talk show. You created something. So நம்ம தமிழ்ல எப்பவுமே சொல்லுவோம்ல, தடைகள் இருந்துகிட்டே தான் இருக்கும், ஆனா அந்த தடைகளை உடைச்சுக்கிட்டே நம்ம அடி எடுத்து வச்சுக்கிட்டே இருக்கணும்னு சொல்லுவோம்ல. அதுதான் தமிழன்ற இதுன்னு நம்ம சொல்லுவோம். உடைச்சிட்டு அடி எடுத்து வச்சு மீசையை முறுக்கிக்கணும்னு சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா? ஸோ that thing is what everybody is, yeah, no, that thing is what everybody needs to do. um ஏன்னா இன்னைக்கு வந்து there's a lot of talented people we have spotted online. They don't have to get a TV show to be popular, because they are going like worldwide because of the internet. And this maybe wasn't possible like 10-15 years ago, but today that other than நான் சொல்றேன், like that effort நம்மளால முடியும்னு நினைச்சா, maybe we might not be good. We had like there were a couple of comedians, they were appearing in Tamil movies. I think Sam Anderson and a couple of them, people laughed at them and everything, but they believed. And even they managed to act with like Talabadi or Tala, those kind of things which a lot of people couldn't achieve. Yeah. So, and the belief, again, it was a dream. Maybe எல்லாரும் சொல்லியிருப்பாங்க அது ஒரு unrealistic dream, but those guys made it a believable dream and they achieved their dream. So அதே மாதிரி தான், நம்மட நம்ம just coming back onto the dreams topic, Avans, நம்ம வந்து நம்மளோட ட்ரீம் யார்கிட்டயும் சொல்லும் போதும் they will say, it's unrealistic, இது இது நடக்காது. But who is that person to gauge what we want to do? எப்போ அது நடக்காதுன்னா, when we don't make a single effort to make it happen, when we are just sitting there and just dreaming, and which is what we spoke about, daydream. We
Mhm.
just daydream, then yes, it will not happen. But எல்லாரும் சிரிக்கிறாங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டு நம்ம அந்த ட்ரீமை மாத்திட்டோம்னா, then we are living for someone else இல்லையா? So um, that is, I think, very crucial to first believe in ourselves and then believe in our dream. So when these two things happen, whatever people say about us, we will just keep breaking borders, we will breaking barriers, we will just keep going through.
Actually, bro, what you said is, I totally agree with you 100%. When I started this copy with Ben just 2 months back as a talking platform, where like we used to do like live videos like 3 a.m. and 4 a.m., right? But
Mhm.
of course, I wanted it to go reach to a bit more, and the best, of course, is the social media. Even when I started, நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி தான் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ண முன்னாலே வந்து சில பேர் கமெண்ட்ஸ்லாம் கொடுக்க ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க. ஓ, this is this, but you see, for me is not about the comment that is very important. I don't want to hear positive comments. I want to hear only negative comments, because and the negative comments da will want to make us push even more, because that there's something that you have not done well. So avungalum ஒரு indirectly they're also motivating us, because that is where it's pushing us to the next level, because eventually these people will be your followers and your lovers eventually. But you must give them an opportunity to say all these comments, because if someone who's going to give a judgment, இப்போ உங்க மேல ஒருத்தவங்க வந்து நெகட்டிவ் கமெண்ட் சொல்லிட்டு நீங்க அது வந்து டூ டீப்பா எடுத்துக்கிட்டு, then you if you feeling it emotional, then the losing end is the individual itself. Because சொல்றவங்க சொல்லிட்டு தான் இருப்பாங்க, அவங்க வந்து they don't have any filter, but is how we are absorbing and how we are reacting. அந்த மாதிரி நம்ம செய்யும் போது we will go even extra mile to do it better. So that is a kind of mindset that I think most or everyone should have. What do you think about that? அதை பத்தி என்ன நினைக்கிறீங்க?
Yeah, I think அதான் சொல்றேனே, எப்பவுமே வந்து நம்மளோட மைண்ட் செட், the internal you, I think is the very important thing. And it's not just that, it's about people around you. Like, I have to say this, like when you asked about youngsters wanting to do this and stuff, right? Imagine if a youngster wants to further into film, wants to become a dancer, wants to become an artist. What if the parents don't support? you know so like in my case, I think I'm very blessed in that sense. My father is a hawker, once you know that, right? Like
Yes, I know. Yeah.
அப்பா நல்லா pratha போடுவாரு, goreng போடுவாரு, those kind of things. But when I chose this path, there was not once he has come and told me இது வேணாம். He just wanted his son to study. And like my mom, who's a homemaker, she was equally supportive. And even in the Bommainus on the first short film, they were the ones who were very supportive. And every short film I've done, they always came. Like my father will always support with food. He'll sponsor food for us on set and everything. And that's how we have grown over these years. So apart from the inner you, right, you also need to have that one or two people, like those one or two people who will believe in you. I like to remind myself with this scenario. My friend Ramesh Muthusamy, he's a
Mm.
speaker.
Yes.
He is confident on camera and all that, right? We had a very bizarre meeting, and that's how I met him as a director. He was a host, and that's how we met. But over the years, the brotherhood developed, right? And then there was this point, I got a big project. I wanted to do it. And அந்த நேரம்லாம் நான் ரொம்ப கஷ்டப்பட்டுட்டு இருந்த ஒரு காலகட்டம். He just dragged me to Mustafa, and he bought me a lot of stationery stating that it was for him. But and he made me choose. So after I got everything in for him, and like when we were back in the car, right? And then he said, "இந்த இதெல்லாம் எடுத்துட்டு போய் வீட்ல உட்காந்து start your storyboarding, start your writing and all that." See, that kind of friendship, that kind of brotherhood, that kind of family, like இன்னைக்கு வரைக்கும், like my wife and kids, there will be times when I'm not there for the family because I'm out in shoot and everything. But that support, right? That support around us, that outer circle of ours, will make the inner you stronger. So I think that's how things go. And not everybody is having that kind of support. அந்த மாதிரி சப்போர்ட் இல்லைனாலும் உங்களை சுற்றி யாராவது ஒருத்தர் ரெண்டு பேர் இருப்பாங்க to support. But இதுதான், when the immediate people, the parents or the siblings don't support, ஏன்னா எல்லாருமே என்ன சொல்லுவோம், find a job which is stable. Like இன்னைக்கு வரைக்கும் நான் சொல்லுவேன், what I'm doing is not very stable. Like I think what you are doing is also not considered a stable thing right once. So
Yeah.
but we do it because people around us believe in us. So we have a dream, and நம்ம ட்ரீமை வந்து நம்ம மட்டும் வச்சுக்காம நம்மளை சுத்தி உள்ளவங்களும் அந்த ட்ரீமை நம்ப ஆரம்பிச்சாங்கன்னா, then it becomes even more powerful. You attract the dream towards you.
கரெக்டா சொன்னீங்க ப்ரோ. இப்ப வந்து இதெல்லாம் வந்து பேசிட்டோம். இப்ப ஐ மீன் as a director நீங்க வந்து பெரிய பெரிய equipments, பெரிய பெரிய மான்ஸ்டர் மாதிரிலாம் வந்துட்டு பின்னால, like we have seen that I think that's one picture that you recently post. I think there's a picture. What is this bro? Camera இப்படி இருக்கணும், phone இப்படி இருக்கணும், அது எடுக்கணும். இது வந்து this looks like some kind of robot, and then you are looking in it. What is this all about, bro?
Okay, so this is actually the Ronin, and it is operated by one of my friends, DP's Sivaraj. So we call him the big gorilla. And அவர் பேருக்கு ஏத்த மாதிரி அவர் equipments அவர் அந்த மாதிரி தான் வச்சிருப்பாரு. So what the Ronin does, it's like it gives you a lot of movement shots. இப்போ வந்துட்டு like when you're on a track, you only can go left, right, or straight on, forward, and backwards. And then when you're on a tripod, you are static. But the Ronin lets you follow the actor. Let's say the actor walks from point A to point B, and then you follow him to point B, and from point B you can follow to point C. And that's a lot of work because the DP have to literally carry it like that. He has to carry all that weight with the camera, and then the CA, our camera assist, have to make sure all the focus is correct. So that's one of my favorite tools. Even I think that particular shot you showed earlier, it was for one of the tele movies we did, and so yeah, it is one of the equipments. It's very close to my heart, but it will kill the DP in the process, because I think when we did Mudar Kanave with Shabir and Jay, um, the whole telefilm was shot in Ronin, and I think my DP lost like 4 kilos during the whole product, the whole process. Yeah.
So இதுல வந்து நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா bro, I've
Mhm.
also noticed that when we talk about all these equipment, the big kind of
Really, where are you getting all those photos now from?
oh me, I'm not doing anything. my assistant is my assistant is the one who are putting all the pictures without.
Okay.
So we are getting you off guard, no, bro. So
Uh,
don't forget about that. இப்பதான் வந்து கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமா ரகசியம்லாம் வெளியே வருது. ஆமா இல்லையா? இப்ப
mm,
I know that you told us that being a director, your timing is really, really crazy. But the people behind who handles the camera or even when holds a light, I think
mm,
that requires a special talent, is it? If not, you can't be just telling, hey, put a light on top, hey, put this thing down. How do you are like a music conductor because you are constantly looking at the story, looking at the camera, you're looking at the battery,
mhm.
what happens if somebody's maybe the cameraman never charged the battery, or maybe if the light bursts, or maybe the location is not right. I mean, so many things, synchronization at the same time. So someone can go mad. So that's why is it director all முடிய பிடிச்சிட்டு அப்படி இழுக்கிறது மாதிரி இருக்கா?
Uh, அப்படியும் சொல்லலாம். லைக் குறிப்பா சொல்லணும்னா, லைக் நோ திஸ் மேன் இன் மை போட்டோ கோபால். So Kandasamy Gopal, he's one of my favorite DPs, and another brother. And he is not just a DP. He will also come in and say, "தம்பி கதை எப்படி இருக்க? நம்ம எப்படி மாத்தலாமா?" Like so. நான் முத சொன்னேன்ல, like when you have people who love what they do, that is I think very important. So like Gopal loves veritanamana love avarkutta, and every time he tries to beat himself over something. Like he wants the next product to be better than the first one he did, and so he will always come and sit down, discuss with us, and yes, so அப்பதான் வந்து நம்ம யோசிப்போம், because we would have planned it for such a way, and then after Gopal comes with the idea, right, and then we will know, okay, yeah, maybe what he's saying is true, which means you have to relight means another half an hour, and then you might need to change dialogues, you need to run through with artists. It's going to be painstaking, but we will do it, because I think everybody is looking at that final product. Yeah.
And bro, one thing also I noticed, Mr. Yasser, that that during that segment of me acting in that particular that villain, right? Not villain, that the hangman, is it? To come and
Mhm.
attack. அந்த ஒரு கட்டண பொசிஷன்ல என்னை ஆக்கிட்டீங்க அந்த
ஆமா.
அந்த drama-ல. So I noticed that everything is fine tuned, everybody is like automatic, everybody want to do the perfect, nobody is doing half past six job, nobody say பரவாயில்ல விட்டுரு.
Mm,
nobody is that. Everybody's like, okay, no, we have to do, even though how tired or how late it is, if it is not
mhm,
good, it's not good. There is no two way about it. So அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு focus or delivering a good movie, a good drama out so that people can enjoy, requires so much of pain, time, stress. I mean, your blood pressure will go up and down. It's crazy. முடிய பூச்சி இழுக்கிறது. So I don't know, bro. I think it's a crazy job. I don't know. The way I want to put it is a crazy job. But because of the love that's keep you pushing, even if this picture, if you look at it, I
mhm.
think this is one of the traffic police for road safety program.
Yeah, this was done for LTA, and yeah, literally we had to stop roads and block off, and work with everybody. What you see, what நம்ம எப்பவுமே சொல்லுவோம், when a movie or drama comes out, right, immediately the first person to get the appreciation or limelight will be the actors, because they are the first, our frontliners, they will get everything. Even if a drama is good or bad, they will get it first, and then we will hear it from them. And then the next immediate people will be the director and producers. But there's a group of people, you will never see, like our assistant producers.
Mm.
Number அந்த நேரத்துல, we'll yell at them, or something would have gone wrong, and then you'll see them sitting crying in one corner. They would have not have had their lunch, dinner, but they will make sure everybody on set is well
True.
fed. you know
Yeah.
so there's a lot of people you will never get to see. I know it's like watching Avengers, and then you have like hundreds of names running in the credits, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
never
yeah.
know those people. So they are the unsung heroes. They are the hidden people. But without them, production will never happen. Because, like, I can just say, pack up and walk off and all that, right? But when I do something like that, they have to do all the management. Let's say they got a location after a lot of battle, and then I'm angry because something happened and I'm packing up and walk off. Immediately she has to talk to the liaison, or they have to handle the extras, and they have to manage a lot of things. And most of the time, these people go home later than we do. So let's say we pack up, we stay for maybe another hour, discuss everything, we leave, but they will still have to go back to office, print the scripts for the next day, or make sure things are there for the next day shoot. So they will have minimal sleep, and with that minimal sleep, they will still bear with all the annoyance, or the stress factors we give. Yeah, so it's a time, I think, I also want to appreciate all those people who have been working with me, bearing my temper, or supporting me with their love. Yeah.
So, I mean, when you come to a set, you are totally a different role. You are totally a different person, right? And the moment you step out, then you are like the Yahssir that we know. But when you are in, because I can see that the attitude or the character, the focus is all totally changed, And I know sometimes when somebody calls you, also you won't pick up because you are so engrossed. You already dive into it. You already become a character. So with
Mhm.
so much of role. Um, as we want to go on, and I think it's getting hotter and hotter in terms of the topic. This one I know because I attended this particular event, Kannan
Mhm.
Dasan Villa. So, do you want to talk a little bit about this because it's a big honor because you actually got this Kannan Dasan award for last year, if I'm not mistaken, or is it this year?
I think it was late last year, right?
Late last year. So,
Yeah, late
do you
last
want
year.
to talk about it because I think it's a great award that presented right by the what column? Maybe I'll leave it to you. Leave it to you. Yeah.
uh, Tamil Writers Association, Singapore Tamil Writers Association. Um, it was something I didn't expect, and I'm truly very humble till today, talking about it. I think the main thing was about the contribution in the Tamil language, be it in schools, be it in my media line. I think that was one of the factors they considered it considered me for that award. And yeah, so even when I received the award, I did tell them that the பணி இன்னும் தொடரும், இன்னும் நம்ம நிறைய விஷயம் செய்வோம்னு. um, I told them, like I said, it's like it's a blessing. I'm very grateful for such a thing. கவிஞர் கண்ணதாசன், and அவர் பேர்ல ஒரு அவார்ட் கிடைக்கிறது. பட் என்னன்னா, தமிழை மறக்காம, தமிழுக்கு இன்னும் நிறைய விஷயம் நம்ம செய்யணும். அந்த ஒரு குறிக்கோள் எப்பவுமே இருக்கு. And I'm ரொம்ப நன்றி கடன் பட்டிருக்கேன் for those who have nominated me for that award. And yeah.
Adhe Samitla, bro, you also be conducting courses, right? I mean, you also been conducted interview, not the interview, but more like how to make a story or how to use your DSR cameras. Because I know that you're going to schools, sometimes being invited by polys and universities.
Mhm.
So in order to become a director, of course, you must have the basic knowledge of cameras and how they work, the exposure, the composition, the ISO and lenses and all that. Because you must know everything. Because once you look you know exactly what needed to be adjusted, எதை மாத்தணும் எதை இழுக்கணும் எதை போடணும் உங்களுக்கு தெரியும். பட்
Mhm.
இதான் வந்து அந்த ஹம்பிள் பிகினிங்னால தான் உங்களுக்கு நீங்க கத்துக்கிட்டு வர முடியும். Is there anybody who can be a director? Oh, I'm going to be a director but do not know all these basic. Will that be possible?
Definitely. I don't think you need to know all this to become a director. You need to be able to write a good story, or even, if you have a very good writer, you can be just the guy who brings the visuals alive. So you don't have to know the specifics to become a director, but knowing those specifics, knowing how the camera works, knowing how the lights enhance, and knowing how all the technicalities work will help you when you are doing the visuals. Like, you will be able to understand. You don't have to have a DP sitting down and explain you. Yeah, so if you just studied directing, எப்படியும், you would have covered a bit of modules on something else, but you don't have to actually know those to actually direct. But at the same time, knowing them is always an asset. Yeah.
So this is the one that I was talking to you, bro. That small drama, that small segment that I did with you.
Ah,
It was
yeah,
I think last year June. I
right.
remember. But it's truly amazing, right? Just for a 1.5 minute role, we
Mhm.
shoot for almost about 4 to 5 hours.
Yes.
So I mean, on the spot, the script was given. On the spot, the location, the time to meet, where to meet, and dinner was missed, supper was missed. So
Yeah.
much of dedication for that particular konjondu and the 1.5 minutes. So I can imagine, if you are doing let's say a particular shoot that requires overnight shoot as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So you see, like what happened there were also some things we were not prepped for. The location had to be changed. So the moment location had to be changed, then all this became a domino effect. And yes, I think even that point in time, I think the APs, myself, we will skip the meals. We'll just make sure the artists are having their meals, and we will just proceed. And that is something which I think the producers and myself are repeatedly trying to work towards. If something happens last minute, this is it's a challenge for us to go with it. But if it's all going smooth, right, and that day, let's say I need to wrap up by 9, but I've wrapped up at 7, that kind of happiness in you, that sense of achievement.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we'll always go to set with that aim. Today I'm going to end before that time. I'm going to say it's a wrap, and I'm going to go home early. But when we know it's not going to happen, we will kind of adjust and amend accordingly. And we also have to prepare the rest, especially actors. Sometimes the waiting time becomes a longer waiting time.
So everybody loved the word rap,
Yeah, it's a
not
wrap.
that rap to eat, right? It's rap.
No, not that eating wrap.
Okay. So starting will be lights, then camera.
No, I think starting normally will be like standby. Like when the moment the AD or myself calls for standby, everybody will be like in position. We know it's going to roll, and then we will have our clapper. So the moment clapper comes and reads like scene one, take one, people are ready, and then we'll go for a roll. Then I'll say action. Yeah,
You
that's
know
how.
what, bro? I think all directors are lion because lion is the king of the jungle. So once a lion give command, everybody have to listen. Imagine everybody say when you say action and somebody make a noise. That's it,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, we will say cut, and
Okay.
and then everybody will look at the one person. And yeah, so it becomes like he will become the celebrity for that few seconds.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, as a director, you have all these special commands, and people really have to follow and keep it strict to it, right? And
Mhm.
also, what we are coming almost to the last segment already.
Yeah,
Being a director, also you have all these privileges of meeting all the famous, famous people. Like here, you have meet our AR Rahman sir.
mhm.
Also, I think அந்த experience கொஞ்சம் நீங்க share பண்றீங்களா?
Yeah. So yeah, Raman was for this Singtel event. He was here to perform, and then thanks to my dear buddy Ganesh, I got to do a one-on-one interview with Rahman, and it was also an unforgettable interview because normally the questions I prepare can last for a good 1.5 hours, but with AR it was like within 15 minutes my interview was like, because he's a man of few words, and then I had to, from the questions and from the answers, I have to find out what was intriguing for him, and then based on that we delayed the interview. But off camera he had a lot of things to share, and it was a a memorable event with meeting him.
So being a director, bro, must be become a director, because then only we can meet all these famous people, right?
I think if you become an actor also you'll end up meeting all these
Oh,
famous people.
okay.
Yes.
Okay, bro. I think thank you for so much. We are almost at 1 hour 7 minutes. So we are coming to the last segment. Last segment is the, of course, advice for the day. என்ன உங்களுக்கு நீங்க சொல்ல போறீங்க இது கேட்கிற அனைவர்களுக்கும்? ஒரு மோட்டிவேஷனல் ஃபேக்டரா இருக்கலாம், இல்ல இந்த இண்டஸ்ட்ரியை பத்தி கூட இருக்கலாம். இதுல வந்து ஒரு ஒரு மணி நேரம் மேல நீங்க வந்து உங்களோட கருத்துக்கள் வந்து பகிர்ந்துட்டீங்க. பட் ஐ திங்க் இட்ஸ் வெரி இன் டெப்த் வேல்யூ, பிகாஸ் to understand the life of a director, the feelings of a director, you share a lot of the truth. But usually, when we say director, it's always stop, cut, put, down, left, right. But right now you show all the different characters and the emotionals, the anger, the frustrations of our director. So that's, I think people will start to understand. And when they start ஒரு படத்தை நம்மள டமா பார்க்குறோம், அவங்களுக்கு தெரியும் ஒரு 2 நிமிஷம் எடுக்கிறதுக்கு இந்த மனுஷன் வந்து 10 ஹவர் போட்டிருக்கான். They will start to appreciate. But what is your thing that நீங்க சொல்ல போறீங்க மக்களுக்கு இப்ப கேட்டு இருக்கவங்களுக்கு? Because இந்த காணொளி வந்து definitely it's a recorded and it will be in our Facebook and YouTube. So இத பாக்குறவங்களுக்கு வந்து what you would love to say?
I think more than a message, right? I think it's just a sharing. Yeah, it's definitely when we do a film with a lot of pain, and then when someone shoots it down. In my early years of filmmaking, it was painful, but I think I got to learn that it's something we have to learn and move, and sometimes அவங்களுக்கு தெரியாது. And another thing, right? I think anyone who wants to watch a movie, they are there to be entertained, except the tech guys, you know. ஸோ அவங்க நம்ம ஒர்க்கை அப்ரிஷியேட் பண்ணணும்னு நம்ம அங்கே எதிர்பார்க்கறது, மேபி இட்ஸ் நாட் சம்திங் விச் வி கேன் எக்ஸ்பெக்ட், பிகாஸ் if they feel entertained, they feel loved, and then they have a fan following and all that, right? But apart from that, for our fellow industry people, one thing is that uh, I think all of us are working really hard. All of us are putting our heart, soul, a lot of dedication, blood. நிறைய வேகமா நம்ம கான்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்றோம். திருப்பியும் ஒன்று சொல்லணும், இந்த லைன்ல இருக்கணும்னா யூ நீட் தட் ஃபேமிலி சப்போர்ட், யூ நீட் த லவ் ஃப்ரம் ஃபேமிலி. And if, like, just now I saw someone said, no, my daughter writes at night. Yeah, your daughter writes at night. It's something you are recognizing. So அதை அவங்க மோட்டிவேட் பண்ணும் போதும் அந்த டாட்டர் might end up as a awesome writer. So it's not the standard things. It's good education is a must. Basic education is a must. அதே நேரத்துல அவங்களுக்கு இந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்கள்ல ஈடுபாடு இருந்ததுன்னா, it's always good to learn, like playing the piano, the guitar, learning to sing, learning to act. It's always good to have. That is something. And overall என்னன்னா, every production you see, there's a lot of people working very hard on it. நிறைய கோபங்கள், நிறைய அழுகைகள், a lot of people go through a lot of things to achieve it, because it is staple for us. It's our rice bowl. So doesn't mean like we do TV and everything, we are just the glam and glitz. We also have our sorrows, we have our PUB bills to pay, and all that. So I think but if you can motivate someone, if you can support that someone, or if you can like keep them, especially now during the COVID period, ஒருத்தருக்கு ஒருத்தர் helping one another is very important. um, I've seen fellow Singaporeans been doing that. So if you can buy them a meal, buy them a drink, that smile, that prayers for you will be a big thing for them. So I think that is where we need to go. We need to keep supporting and motivating one another. And one குறிப்பா ஒன்று சொல்லணும், when we see a performer or composer or actor from another country, we call them international talent, international star, international. And then number இதே வந்து சிங்கப்பூர்ல, when someone does it in Singapore, they don't get that support. In fact, we are also international. From that side of it, we are also international. And they are not local. I think they are homegrown talents. They have dedicated their part. Like, no, we have many of them, like Shabir, Praveen Saivi, like dancers, like, there's a lot of dancers like Aishwarya, Kavita Krishnan, there's many of them, singers, dancers, everybody. So we are international too. We under or motivation எப்பவுமே எல்லாருக்கும் தரணும். The support you give to a star from across another country, that same support you give to these people, they will also give their best, and they are already giving their best.
நல்லா நறுக்குன்னு ரேட் சில்லி மாதிரி சொன்னீங்க. தேங்க்யூ ப்ரோ, தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச். சரி, இப்போ வந்து நம்ம ஹேண்ட் ஆஃப் இன்டர்வியூக்கு வந்துட்டோம்.
ஓகே,
உடற்பயிற்சி பத்தி கொஞ்சம் நல்லா சாப்பிட்டுட்டு ட்ரைனிங்லாம் வர மாட்டேங்கிறீங்க. நாட் கமிங் ஃபார் த ட்ரைனிங், நாட் அப்டேட்டிங் ஆன் த எக்ஸசைசஸ் regime also. COVID-19 is the poor guy to get all the blame, right?
In fact, if you notice,
Yeah.
COVID-19 la thaan many Singaporeans have gone down to exercise.
That's very true. That's very true. Yeah.
Like Decathlon has run out of stocks.
Yes.
So it's a historic moment for Singaporeans. Because of COVID-19, a lot of people have stepped out to exercise. So I think நான் ஒருத்தன் பண்ணாததை வந்து நீங்க சொல்லலாம், ஆனா நம்ம நாட்டு மக்கள் எல்லாரும் பண்றாங்க.
சரி, ஐ மீன் சோஷியல் மீடியால அப்படி சொல்லிட்டீங்க, நான் வந்து அப்படி அகைன்ஸ்டா போக முடியாது. ஏன்னா நீங்க வந்து மேசா பேசிட்டீங்க, right? But then again, I mean, like what you say is true, because Decathlon was actually out of stock, and a lot of other sports shops as well. I think people are taking fitness now very seriously. I think that is the important message right now.
Yes, I also saw it as another avenue that a lot of people who thought, life na இப்படி தான் busy, every day go office, take train, take taxi, drive, இப்படியே தான் இருந்திருக்காங்க இல்லையா? Now everybody is seeing a different part of their own country, which they have not seen for years. So I see it as a very positive thing. ஒரு பக்கம் COVID-19 has been a disaster, yes, like affected many of us. But அதே அந்த affection மட்டும் நம்ம பார்க்காம அதுல ஒரு positivity பார்த்தோம்னா, this is I think it's a brilliant thing to happen.
And also, if you look at it, another segment, right? I mean, this is the first time ever in my history I didn't left my house for 4 days. நாலு நாளா வீட்டிலேயே இருந்திருக்கு அப்படின்னு நினைச்சு பாருங்க. Not even went down for drive or went for some activities or whatever. Nothing, nothing. Just staying at home for 4 days and conducting whatever there's need.
Your trainees have escaped your.
Yes, that's also you also, huh?
Yeah.
The one we shall take it offline. Cannot reveal too much of secret, huh? Okay, bro. So thank you so much once again for joining in this particular platform, Kopi Events, where you share, because பெற்றோர்களோ சரி, இளைஞர்களும் சரி, those parents or youngsters who watching this, you will understand, right? The big effort and sacrifice a director has done behind his role, so that so many people can be benefiting it, and as well as people who are watching from home. அது மட்டும் இல்ல, அதோட கஷ்டங்கள், அதோட நன்மைகள், even if your child say wants to act for short dramas, don't discourage them. Like you just heard from our director Yahssir, from founder of Millenia Motion Pictures, எல்லாம் கரெக்டா சொன்னாருங்க. டிக்டாக் பத்தியும் சொன்னீங்க. நானும் இப்ப ரொம்ப டிக்டாக் போய் சேரேன் பாருங்க. இது முடிஞ்சோடனே I'm going to do more TikTok, and I'm going to see if I can go to Hollywood lah, or no, Bollywood.
You will dream.
Thank you for so saying that. I'll get connected with you. Thank you everyone for joining us for more than 1 hour 20 minutes. This is Vance, and that is
Yahssir. Thank you for joining and listening to both of us.
Signing off.